Okay, y'all, I'm going to use an American great term to gather us all in. So I'm going to turn off my camera, but I want to just start with a little bit of a stretch so we can let all that tension go. So give a good shake all the way through the shoulder, down through the fingertips, and just release a bit of energy that way. And then gather yourself into a comfortable position with your hands on your lap or wherever they feel comfortable. And allow your left ear to just begin to move toward the left shoulder. Ideally, and you can do this in bed or anywhere, ideally keeping the back of the skull sort of in line with the spine so that your head isn't tipping forward too much. And then you could take the opposite right arm and just float it away from its shoulder a little bit, away from the center body, so that you're giving a bit more of an augment to that neck stretch. And breathe and release on your exhale, increasing the breath a little bit, especially on the exhale, and lengthening it out. And then gradually coming back to your midline and rounding up and back the shoulders, scrunch them up toward the ears, press the upper arm bones back, and relax the blades down. And then switch sides, right ear toward right shoulder, really navigating the skull so that it's dropping directly toward the shoulder, ear toward the top of the shoulder, and then using your left arm to give a little bit more of an augment to the stretch. Using your breath, each exhale, a bigger invitation for release. And then on the inhale, finding your way back to your midline and settling in for a few moments of mindfulness. Allowing your eyes to gently close if they're not already, softening the outer space around the corners of the eyes, between the brows. And then again, just using your awareness to follow your breath, rhythm, volume, just a little bit increased, especially the exhale for a moment. And exhale completely out of the mouth for 1 or 2 breaths, letting out a good sigh. Or just the AH sound. And allowing yourself to, as you release in the exhales, to find a little bit of inspired sort of expansion on the inhale, perhaps the collarbones broadening, the front armpits smiling, and the back armpits doing a little bit of a droop downward. And allowing that relaxed state as you can increase the relaxation with each exhale to expand outward from the inner body right out to the edges of your body. Perhaps feeling like you can let the insides of your palms go, the fingers release, the back of the neck lengthening, the insides of your cheeks softening, and a gentle smile just upon the lips with that same kind of feeling of that gentle smile expanding outward. And let's expand outward a little bit with the mind's eye and allow your imagination to take you into a place where you're moving yourself away from your body to the outside of the room, perhaps to the roof, like you're in a hot air balloon and you're just now observing yourself sitting or lying down where you are. And from way above, you can observe yourself relaxed, breathing steadily and releasing increasingly on each exhale. And continue to let your hot air balloon take you up a little higher so you can now see the city that you're in and perhaps the country or province, continuing to float above it all, looking at the very changing nature of the physical reality. Seasons change, circumstances change, and yet somehow or other there's this viewpoint from way above as you witness all these changes happening daily, even momentarily. And there's this steady, unchanging presence that holds all of that without any reaction, without any judgment, and possibly without any opinion in this moment. And observing that changing world below you as you float in somewhat of a neutral observer witness perspective, far above the noise of the material world. Allowing that witness observer to recognize the unchanging aspects of the self, awareness, the intelligence, the person, and then the changing aspects, the body, the mind's different ramblings and different thoughts, the various different iterations of our physical expression, and even the various different places that we are physically living and exchanging in the physical world. And then there's this unchanging aspect of yourself. And just allowing that unchanging Purusha, as it's referred to in Buddhism and yoga, to observe the Prakriti, the ever-changing. And bringing yourself back into this moment as you come back into your physical body with your awareness, your Purusha, and noticing your changing body, the sensory aspects of the body and the nervous system continually changing and responding to the input of information and data. And the observer witness able to notice in a neutral place this landscape of change. And allowing the sensory body to pick up on the auditory sounds as we begin to wind ourselves back toward our now changing physical world in the room that we share together. And the auditory may hear the ding of the chime, right? And when you're ready, taking the eyes and looking downward, relaxing the back of the head, and then slowly uncurling the spine and coming back into the room.